Hi guys, welcome to the 3D show. Akwaba, Senu, Bonjour, Kedu, Sanu, and all that good stuff. Guys, welcome. I hope you've had a wonderful week because I know I have. And today's topic is just sending chills down my spine. And we actually have a celebrity in the building because, you know, we've seen him on the BBC and a few other places. You know me, I don't like to talk too much. I always want to give the platform to them to sing their own praises because they don't get to do it a lot. My guests is who I'm talking about. I can already see that, you know, a lot of people have tuned in on Facebook. I know that you guys are ready to, you know, chime in on the conversation and also pick up a few tips here and there. Today we're going to be talking about, you know, everything finance, you know, financial literature, and more specifically, generational wealth. Is it a myth or is it logic? Is it something that we should be thinking about? But, you know, just before we get onto the topic and, you know, we get onto the discussion, I just want to give, you know, a few shout outs to my sponsors. You know, first of all, I want to give, you know, a big shout out to ITS Pro Training Center. I'm so grateful for, you know, your sponsorship for the show. You keep us on air and you keep us going. Guys, if you want to do, you know, your SIA badge, it only takes 4 days to get your badge. And then also your CSCS card, that will only take you 1 day to get it. Please contact 07904686944. Contact ITS Pro and they are the best people to get you through this qualification. And then also, you know, World Media Productions, if you have a wedding coming up, if you have a birthday party, music video, engagement, naming, you know, if you're vain like me and you just want someone to follow you with a camera for just the day, please contact World Media Productions. They are your go-to people for everything media. You know, you can reach them on 0744889498. And then also, if you want to sponsor the show, please give us a ring on 07872348490. Let me tell you, I will start wearing my house clothes to come here if you people don't sponsor me. Let me tell you, every day I come here, I'm looking nice, I get messages, everyone's sliding in my DMs. It takes money. Money. Today we're talking about finance. Me, I want to learn how to save my money for me and my son. I am not about to keep shopping to come and look shepe here for you people's eye candy, please. So, you know, if you know anybody, any boutiques, anyone that wants to sponsor the show, you know, you can, anything, haircuts, jewelry, clothes, anything, you know, please do give us a ring and we will be most grateful. Yeah, we're just going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, we are going to delve straight into the topic and into the discussion. Please stay put. We'll be right back after this.
ITS Pro Center. ITS Pro Center. Me fan it is pro. I just say biya. Ya teaching crop ya mount SIA license. Now bet me the security. Now they go pay adwuma. Because the na nkofo adwuma sign no nya adwuma. Ba bia make am fama aye ITS Pro Center. And what any bet you amount here by 4 days pay. Na on account certificate. Enti adati na esa was na wana ka chepso nya adwuma ye. ITS Pro Training Center no. Anya SIA nkwa na ye ye CSCS card so account. CSCS card so no. Just 1 day training pep. Na wo wie so a unsabesa account health and safety certificate so. Enti what why dey? Enti hwekofo agya hui. Omo wie omo training. Omo akwakwa sha adwuma se o site. Enti me no gana fo. Moti why dey? And then you want to make a Bomodia na free. Our son number is so. Phone number no 07904686944. 07904686944. Bomodia na free in the year. ITS Pro Training Center. Address 453 to 457 First Floor, Libridge Road, E10 7E. Buses do one fa ho. Bomodia na brand ne ya. Enti amfa wo se wo yo ba. Mo so betimi e construction na security. Enti wo de afraye na ye ka wo kasa. Ye sa te wo kasa so. Training center we. Na sa training center we. 2 years with some certificate. Now you go year Juma.
Hi, good evening. Welcome back to the show. If you're just tuned in, you are tuned into the 3D show with myself, Desire. Remember, whatever decision you make today will determine your destiny tomorrow. Today we are joined by a very, very, I don't even know the words to describe him, yeah? But he's a celebrity. He's a maestro when it comes to everything finance. Listen, if you follow him on social media, please be warned. Because he does not hold back. This guy, like, he made me question myself this week. I was like, what are you doing? He's funny, he's witty, but he's very, very wise, and he's very real with his advice and with his utterances and stuff like that. So it's definitely a pleasure for us to have him in the studio with us today. So Emmanuel, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Mr. Asukwo.
Is
that how you say it?
You said it. Come on.
Wow. So welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Tell us a bit about yourself, because apart from being just somehow mean, you're very honest, but sometimes it's like, what do you do? How did you get into finance and all of that?
Yeah, so I'm a financial advisor. I have been for over 14 years. So I started off in the banks, in Barclays. And I guess for me, my journey, I really wanted to get to Canary Wharf. So I lived in a place called Limehouse.
Oh, yeah.
And right next to Limehouse, Canary Wharf.
Literally.
And when you grow up with not much, my parents are the first to be born in the UK.
Yeah.
And I used to look out my window, see those buildings in Canary Wharf and say, I want to be in those buildings. And when you live on a council estate and is not nice conditions, and then you go to Canary Wharf and you got the same postcode.
Yes.
E14 and E14. I'm thinking, well, it's a different life.
Wow.
And so for me, I was like, no, I'm not going to accept where I am. My parents have done what they can, and I'm going to change my life. And so I'm a big believer in, believe it, think it, then work towards it. And so I used my window as my vision board and said, look, I want to get over there. And by 22, I became the youngest financial advisor in Barclays. At age 22, straight out of uni, became a financial advisor. It's a long story, but just cut it short. I ain't got time.
Wow.
But it made me understand that you can have a dream, you can look at something, and you can make it happen. The only limitation is the limitation you put on yourself. And so for me, I worked towards that. And then as I started to go up the ladder, I left Barclays, went into more high net worth boutique small firms dealing with clients with minimum 2 million. I started
2 million waiting.
Yeah, cash. That's not property.
Pound sterling.
So, and we'll talk about that later. But it's one of those things where for me, I knew that, okay, I looked around. I didn't see anybody from a council estate. I didn't even see anybody that looked like me, anyone from a similar background to me. But yeah, I go to church on Sunday and we're all singing and dancing, praising the Lord. I said, why are we so happy? We're so happy in our situation. And actually, there's so much change out there. When I used to meet my aunties and uncles at church, they weren't asking me where to invest or where to put their money. They were asking me for a loan. They're asking me, can I get them a loan? Can I get them credit?
Emmanuel, oh my gosh. This is why I was just like, I need you on the show. Because why do you think that is? Because our parents have worked for so many years, so hard. Why is it that, they get to that age, they find themselves with, they've got the big house back home, but you don't even want to retire back home. So what is that all about?
Knowledge is power, isn't it? And so you have to remember, our parents have left a continent where when you want to buy a house, you don't get a mortgage, you buy the land, you build. And so you've come over here. Who taught them how to be better with money? Who taught them what to do, how to make their money work? So maybe a few might have learned, but also we come from a place where when you make it, you don't share.
Okay.
So it's a different
I need you
culture.
to repeat that bit.
So we come from definitely come from and I know we don't like to talk about slavery, but it's a slave mentality. I always talk about, people, the ones in the field and the ones in the house. And the ones in the house always used to feel like they were better than the ones that were picking cotton in the field. Right. But both are slaves. And so for a lot of us, when we make it, we have that mentality of we've made it. I don't want to tell somebody, because if I tell somebody, then they might take my job.
Yeah.
But I'm a big believer. What's for you is for you.
Of course.
And so actually we are better if we share. If there are more of us in these spaces, the easier it becomes to succeed in these spaces. That all of a sudden we have people, allies. When I look at other communities, they have allies. When they go to buy property, they can buy it together.
Yes.
If they can't afford it on their own, they can buy it together.
For
if they want to
real.
start a business and they can't get the money from the bank, they can put money in together. They have allies, people that they can lean on. And for a lot of us, we are very comfortable being the only one. We're actually happy being the only one. And for me, when I was in that environment in the bank and I was the only one, I wasn't happy.
Yeah.
Because I could see my people suffering. I could see people with very expensive cars and they're living in their mum's bedroom. I don't understand. You don't even own the bed that you sleep on at night. You got Ferrari.
Emmanuel, you're speaking too much.
You got Mercedes. You got BMW.
We're in the Rollie.
We're in the Rollie. You haven't even changed your bed sheets.
Okay.
I don't understand what's going on. You have nothing to your name apart from a few designer clothes, and even that money is, you've begged your mum for the money in the first place.
Imagine.
You haven't even gone to work to get it. So for me, it's about understanding what's important, and that actually, I feel for a lot of us, we don't understand value.
Right.
We weren't taught value. We believe that the car that we drive, the clothes that we wear, making sure that if we look good. When do we wear our best clothes? When we go to church,
Go to church, yeah.
You wear your best clothes to go to church. Is it for God? It's not for
No.
God. It's for all the other people
Yes.
to see. That's why when you get your new car, you come and park the thing right in front.
there.
Make sure that everyone can see that you got
Thanksgiving for your car.
Come on. And so for me, we need to. The problem is that we don't value ourselves, and we need to understand that actually we are already valuable. Whether we own this or we don't, we are already valuable. And anything else that we add, we make that valuable.
Wow.
So if I'm wearing these clothes, they're valuable because I own them.
Yeah.
They don't make me any more valuable than I am.
But don't you find it like so funny that we place so much value on material things at the detriment of our health? Because we will rather work ourselves to the grave just to show that, yes, I own this material thing that we will outlive.
It's been proven over time. When it comes to our community, our people, we know how to work. Work is not a problem. I always say we don't have a problem in making money. We know how to make. We've been having 2, 3, 4 jobs.
Yeah.
From beginning of time, we know how to work. The problem is that we don't know how to make our money work for us. And so the problem is
we know how to make the money,
but we don't know how to make it
work for us.
And so that's why, for a lot of us, when we get into retirement ages, when we're supposed to be resting, we're still doing, our parents or our grandparents are still doing 2 or 3 jobs. They can't afford to retire.
Wow. So what will you define generational wealth as? What is it? Before we discuss whether it's a myth or there's any logic to it, take us through what is generational wealth?
Generational wealth is the wealth built up by the generation before. So, for example, your parents or your parents' parents or your grandparents have come. They've built up wealth, whether it be through property, whether it be through a business, whether it be cash in the bank, pensions, whatever it may be. They've built up assets.
Life insurance
Can be if you die and then it pays out.
Okay.
That amount of money can then go on to
something.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that can be a form of wealth.
Okay.
And especially I've seen people who have, if you can imagine 20 years ago, someone paid out a life insurance of 100,000 or 200,000. At that time, properties were 20k, 30k.
Yeah.
Those same properties now are 200, 300.
Yes.
So even if you didn't have money, that £20 a month or £30 a month that you're paying for life insurance has now led to 100k or 200k being left to your children, who then use that money to then invest that money.
Yeah.
They've been then built up assets, and now that 100 or 200,000 is now 1 or 2 million worth of property asset that you now pass on to your children. And then they now can either use that to get an income from renting it out. They can sell it and reinvest it. It's about passing assets from one generation to the next.
So I can almost hear, our parents saying, so me bringing you from Africa, giving you education here, is that not generational wealth? What do you think about that?
I don't feel like it's not generational wealth.
Okay.
But it's definitely an opportunity.
Right.
What they did was create an opportunity for us to have a better life.
Okay.
And so it's whether we now take that opportunity.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say because you're born here now, you automatically have something that you can pass on to your children. Because for a lot of us, look at when it comes to burial, we're seeing GoFundMe.
Yes.
So if we can't say you've got generational wealth, you live for 50, 60, 70 years and you haven't even got enough money to bury. So let's really understand what we're talking about.
Wait, can we actually deep what he just said? Because with COVID, we have literally seen so many GoFundMes.
Come on.
For just something as burial. Is it because we don't think, because you know our people, God forbid, hey, Tofiakwa, death should pass me. But death is inevitable. So is it that we're being financially irresponsible and not thinking about that, or we're letting our religious beliefs just make us ignorant?
Yeah, but even in the religion, you know, he says a wise person prepares for their family. That's biblical.
Yes.
So for me, it doesn't. It's a wise man prepares for his family. So it doesn't make any sense at all. Like you say, you know you're gonna die. So one day.
Yeah. So
prepare for that. Prepare for that. Don't be a burden. Like I'm just saying that, you know, I see other generations. Other cultures.
Yeah.
I don't want to say particularly because I don't want to single any out, but I've seen where their parents have paid for their wedding, paid for their first car, paid for university, so they don't have any student loan.
Giving deposit for property.
Now. So imagine if your parents done all that for you. Now all that money that you're making, all of a sudden, and guess what? Because somebody did it for you, what are you gonna do?
You're gonna pay it forward. Else. Yes.
Generational wealth. What are we passing? We're leaving debts. You're dying. Not only are we now having to pay to bury you, we still got overdrafts and credit cards and loans that need to be paid. The little money that you have, you're going to betting shop to gamble. You're doing lottery, saying God please.
Yes.
So for me, it's about understanding, how do we actually make our money work? We know how to work hard, but we don't know how to make our money work.
So how do we make it work for us? What are, you know, like, just give us some tips. We need it.
Yeah, I think for me there are three main pillars when it comes to building wealth.
Okay.
So the first one is investing.
Okay.
So when I'm talking investments, we're talking stocks and shares, pensions, that side of things.
Would you advise they do that in this country or back home, or it doesn't matter?
I think for security and safety, there's a lot more regulation doing it here.
Okay.
But I do know people that, you know, save back home, save in the Caribbean as well.
Right. And
they feel safe and secure, and you can get a lot better interest rates in the banks if you save in those countries.
Okay.
But the main stuff I'm talking about is to do it here. Now you've got, so investing is one. Then the second one is property. Especially in the UK. We've seen what property has done, and we know that people always need somewhere to live.
Yes.
And we know that there are more people than there is, the demand is higher than the supply.
Property, yes.
And so that's a good area to be in. If you know you can find somewhere where there's great demand but there's low supply, and you can solve that problem. Remember that we talked about value?
Yes.
Now you can add value. And so people will pay you for the value that you can add.
So if I'm understanding, so would we say somewhere like around like a university where, you know, students will always come and go, and
definitely. So university also, you know, right now, just simple tip, like for example, local authorities, we know that furlough is going to stop. Okay. So you know, when furlough stops, a lot of companies are going to make people redundant.
Yes.
And those people may not be able to afford to pay.
Yeah.
So again, the council are going to have a big issue of housing people.
Okay.
Because if people can't afford private renting, they're going to have to go into local authority. Well, local authority ain't built enough houses for years and years and years. So again, you may be able to solve that problem by speaking to the local authority and say, look, I've got a property that's available.
Oh,
and
wow,
then rent directly to the local authority.
Okay.
Again, these are things that people will go on courses and pay 10,000, 20,000 to find out. But you can just Google and do your research.
Or speak to somebody.
Speak to people. There's information out there. It's available. And then the third option is business.
Okay.
I don't think we utilize business enough. One thing that I think is really different from the UK to America is that in the UK, I think we focus mainly on property, but in America they focus mainly on business.
Okay.
And I think that's why you see a lot more millionaires in America coming through than you do in the UK, because if you get a business and you get it right, and then you can scale it. And also with our connections back home, again, when we're not limited, the internet now allows you can have a business here and your clients can be all across the world. So why are we limiting ourselves to say, oh, I've got a business, I can only sell it in my area or in my local reach or to my followers online. You can literally, the world is your oyster now. So again, I think if you can add value to yourself and then use the value that you add to yourself to provide a service and add value to others, people will pay you for the value that you can add.
Wow. Wow, I'm like, where's my notebook? let me be taking notes. So listen, if you're just tuned in, you are tuned into the 3D show with myself, Desire, and we are speaking with, you know, the world-renowned, the most esteemed financial advisor, Mr. Emmanuel Asukwo. You know, he's taken us through just so much when it comes to finance. You know, he's defined what generational wealth is as passing on assets from generation to generation. And then I asked, how do we do that? And he's just explained that, you know, there are 3 ways to do it. You can either do investment, you can do business, or you can go into property. So please, if you haven't already, please grab a notebook, because you can't afford him, or you cannot afford him. This is free consultation for all of us. If you've got questions or, you know, any input, if you want him to explain further on something, please comment down below. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, comment down below and I'll do well to ask him. So that brings me back to, okay, so you've now defined what generational wealth is.
Sure.
Is it a myth? I mean, clearly it's not a myth, because you've defined it, and you've shown us how to, you know, make it work for us.
Yeah.
So definitely it's logic.
Yeah.
I mean, if you disagree, I'm telling you, it's logic.
Yeah.
Jump on board. So our parents now, they're in their late 50s, 60s.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing cleaning, care work since they got here.
Yeah.
Can they start now to think about that generational wealth that, you know, because like you said, lack of knowledge, our people perish. You know, the Bible says that. So now that they're learning, is it too late for them, or can they, like, you know, can they still give it a go?
Yeah, it's never too late, and that's one thing I always want to let people know. It's never too late. We talk about, I don't know if people have heard of a guy called Warren Buffett.
Yes.
So he's the number, when it comes to investing, he's the number 1 investor, stock picker, and everything like that. Warren Buffett made 99.9% of his money after the age of 50. 99.9%, and he's now a billionaire. I think he's around 80 billion.
Wow.
So before that, he had a couple of million.
Wow.
So he spent the first 50 years of his life learning a skill, developing it to then become a billionaire.
Okay.
Your life can change in an instant. The only limit, like I keep saying, is the one that you put on yourself. And again, I think sometimes we are trying to live this UK dream of, I must own property in the UK. Listen, Africa is there. The Caribbean is there. If you've got connections over there, you've got people you can trust. Your pounds that you make here can go a lot further.
Make it stretch for
go
you.
a lot further over there. So now, for example, I've got loads of clients that are buying in Ghana. They're buying in Ghana, and in the summer and at Christmas, they're getting $250 a night. And so these are, and the investment, we're talking about 130,000. What can 130,000 can't buy you? It
won't buy you a garage in this London.
In this London, maybe it can get you something out there, but you're not going to get 250 a night, dollars a night. And so again, it's about looking at, where can I make it? I've got loads of people looking at places like the Congo as well.
Okay.
Developing countries. Nigeria is a bit rough at the moment, you know, with the political stance, but there is opportunity. So I feel like, look at it, South Africa again. There are countries that are out there where we can start to build. And when you think about the opportunity, if there are stuff that you can, if you think, it's almost like a cheat code. If you think that there are things in the UK that we're ahead at, technology wise, imagine if we can now bring those things back
home.
All of a sudden, we can change our lives and change and help people at the same time. And so for me, it's about looking at, where are the needs, where are the pain points of people, and how can you solve their pain? Where are the needs of people? Can you solve their needs? At the end of the day, I look at something like Uber Eats or Deliveroo. At the end of the day, we can go and drive and go collect. We was doing it before. Now we decide to sit at our house. And all of a sudden, people are making money. So again, it's about being wise. How do we don't always have to create something brand new. Look at something and say, can I take this and do this somewhere else where they don't have it? Is there some, and that's a business right there. Is there a service? I talk to people that are teachers or counselors. Can you do that online? Can you do that now in another country, in another area? Again, things like Zoom. Zoom is, if it's only 2 people on there, it's free. YouTube, Instagram. All of a sudden, these technologies allow you to start a business very cheap, low cost,
from the comfort of your house.
If you know how to use Canva, you can create flyers, you can create logos. all of a sudden you can now create a business, be online, no overheads, and start to make profit straight away. So for me, it's about understand. Yes, we've come from hard. Yes, there are things that are against us.
Yeah.
Yes, we don't have the same privileges and benefits that other communities have. But if we continue to feel sorry for ourselves, no one's going to help us.
Right.
It's about us standing up and helping ourselves.
Okay.
And if you don't have enough resources, look at the people around you. And if they don't have enough, find some new people. Like, don't.
Okay.
I'm not saying don't be friends with people. You can still be friends with them.
Yeah.
But you might have to make some new friends. You might have to network and find other people that can support the dreams that you're trying to make come true.
Wow. This is definitely like so insightful. So you mentioned about Nigeria not being a viable place right now because of the political. That leads me to ask you, what are the factors that we should be looking at when we want to start up a business? Like, for example, political. And because I know a lot of the times we feel like because we're not Nigerian, I'm not going to build a property or invest there because, like, oh, Niger Jollof is better than Ghana. And because of that beef, we've now extended it so deep that, what if they bully me and take my property away from me? So, like in your experience, what are the factors that we should be considering when we want to invest in places other than our comfort zone?
Yeah, I think number one is connection. It's all connection.
Okay.
And this is what I talk about other communities. You talk about, say, the white man is not nervous to go to Africa now, and they will go.
The Chinese have taken over.
They're not nervous. They're gonna go there. They're gonna meet people on the ground. They're gonna find who's the right people to meet.
Hey, you said something. They're
gonna go and have meetings. So
the Chinese have really taken over.
So why are we nervous? But again, it comes back to, I remember when I was young, there were certain times, I'm from East London. If I'm going to South, I'm a bit shaky. Do you know what I mean? But people that live here are moving left, right. They have no need to fear. They have caused us to fear ourselves. And actually, the more we embrace and say, no, you're my family, that's why online I call everyone sis, bro.
Yeah.
People thinking, why? But to me, unless you tell me otherwise, we're family. That I have nothing against you. You have nothing against me. Yeah. So why shouldn't we see each other as family? We're all part of one human race at the end of the day.
Yes.
So why do we allow them to divide and conquer? That's how. Look at Africa in itself. If you see the origins of it before, and how they divided it up to now make us come against one. But now we take it back. We say
we were literally one big village.
So now it's about us saying, look, we are together. We have something in common, and we have a focus and a drive. Let's work together. And yes, there may be bumps on the road. Yes, you may make mistakes. Things may not go perfect, but that's all part of business. If you allow the fear of failure to stop you from starting,
you will never start.
You will never start.
You never.
Look at Michael Jordan. I love the quote where he talks about how many times he missed. He missed on so many different occasions, but now they still call him the greatest of all time. Yeah. Muhammad Ali didn't go undefeated. He lost, but they still call him the greatest of all time. So for me, failure is a part of success. Right. I've learned a way not to do it. Right. And so I don't fear failure. I fear not being successful. Okay. I fear not even trying. That's what I fear. My fear is to not try. To sit down in a room and hear someone speak and know that could have been me, but because I didn't try, I'm not there. I'm watching instead of delivering. Wow, that can never be my portion. This is deep. In Jesus' name, this is deep. Like, if you are just tuning in, you are tuned into the 3D show. I am your host, Desire, and I've got goosebumps all over me. We are speaking with financial advisor, Mr. Emmanuel Esoko. And listen, like, I don't know, like, there's so many things that we see every day, but our brain doesn't register. Like what you just said, the Oyibo people, the Chinese, they've taken over Africa. Yet you are scared to go and invest in your neighboring country. For what reason? Oh my God. Listen, like, these are questions that we should be asking ourselves. I hope this topic is starting conversations in your homes, and I hope is sparking conversations amongst your group of friends, because these are conversations that we need to be having. We need to stop trolling people, like investing our time on just useless things. These are things that are going to
benefit us and impact the next generation. So please, let's keep talking about, that generational wealth. He's already told us the 3 ways that we can build generational wealth: investment, business, and property. Which one are you going to look into, just from this conversation? I feel like we've been talking about, the older generation and the older generation. What can we do? Because I feel like we are lost, this generation. I feel like, the drive and the purpose, the why that our parents had when they came here, and it was like, okay, I have to bring my family, I have to bring, everyone to greener pastures, and I have to do this. It's like we've come, they've made it easy. None of us had to do fake marriage or go and sell our souls for papers. We've had it easy. So I feel like we're not being driven. And with the rise of social media, we literally, I always say this because I worked for Rolex, and it was always so nice when you retire and you buy a Rolex. That was an achievement. But now it's like we don't even want to do the hard work. We would rather do the fraud, do the drugs, be the slay queen just to do it. And it's like, surely we can't be building a generational wealth with this mindset.
No, we're not building.
I feel sorry for the next generation. It's like the older ones didn't get it right. Are we getting it right?
I feel that there are a lot of us that are bringing change, but I feel
that's hopeful.
That's definitely, because I sit down with clients all the time and we talk about this type of stuff. But the problem is that the loud ones are the ones that are not. So the ones we see online a lot of the time, I think
the ones that we envy.
And they always say jealousy or envy is the thief of joy.
Yes.
And comparison is the thief of, it's what we do. We look at other people and we say, oh, I'm not doing good because this person's older than me, or this person's younger than me, and they've bought their first house. Do you know what? Do
you know the post that I hate on Instagram? Like, I just bought this house. I just made my first milli and I'm only 22. So what? Should we go and kill ourselves?
Yeah,
I don't understand, but these are like, there's somebody there that is putting in the work, putting in that, but then they will see that and then just discount all the hard work and all the efforts that they're putting in.
I think one thing we have to understand is that the problem is that we take social media like it's gospel. We don't know that we're lying already. Like, we don't know that we're taking pictures from certain angles. We don't know that we're putting. So if you know that filters, if you don't know that people stand next to cars that are not there, people are on holiday that somebody else has paid for. But people are not putting the receipts when they're doing stuff.
Emmanuel, I don't think my audience would want you back.
So for me, I can never. If I see someone doing well, I can only be happy for you. Well done. That can only inspire me to do more and be better. I think too many of us, when we see other people doing well, we think, oh, but when it's your time, you want everyone to cheer for you. So cheer for somebody, be happy for somebody that they've got there. And if that person has got there using 419, or if they've got there doing things in the wrong way, what is done in the darkness will come to light. It always does. It will come to light. And also the demons that they have. I've met people, and I've met people that have had to, do certain things to enjoy certain holidays or enjoy certain, and actually in the end they've said, you know what, I just rather just go and get a job. Because when you realize what you're giving up, what you're selling in order to, it's not worth it, because it's never enough. Let me tell you something. You buy a nice car today, guess what, in a year's time the car's old. You want a new car, because you've seen something better. So actually we got to learn, we've got to, this is what I talk about, value. If you value yourself, it's, that it's not the car. When I see some of my richest clients, when I used to work in the bank, see millionaire clients, the way they dress, if they sat on the floor, you will give them £5. Because you'll think, but guess what, they've got this special app, it's called online banking. And when they want to know how much money they got, they go into there and they see it. So they don't need to wear their money. Their money is in the bank. Their money is in their business. Their money is in their investments. Their money is in trust funds being passed down to their children's children will not have to get a job if they don't want to. So what is the clothes? Remember, every time you buy clothes, you're investing. Every time you spend your money, you're investing. So for a lot of people will take their £1,000 that they get in a month and spend 500 on shoes. They've invested in How many times do you wear that shoe?
You can't even walk in it.
They're wobbling.
You can't walk.
Wobbling like jelly on the thing. Ankles are breaking.
Listen.
You're going to hospital afterwards. For what? For who?
Yeah.
And so for me, I had to really try and make people understand that even that house post that you mentioned about, the reason that people post their house is because they know the hard work that they put into it. It was so hard. Well, guess what? I don't see that happening too much in the Asian community. Why? Because guess what? Number one, they don't buy they buy together.
Yes.
Or they stay in their parents' house, and until even when they get married, they still stay in their parents' house.
Yeah.
And they save up and build. It's a different culture. I don't see my Jewish friends doing the same thing either. Because again, things are passed down. So I understand why if you had to kill yourself, you've been watching people online going to club, going to party, going to holiday, and you haven't done this. You've had to miss out for 4 or 5 years. When you finally buy your house, of course you want to tell everybody.
Yeah.
But the problem is not you buying your house and not even you posting. The problem is that it's too few and far between. And so when it becomes normal, I want us to start celebrating £1 million companies. I want us to start celebrating, I just employed 30 people.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
And gave them a chance, I gave them a job.
Yes.
Then we can, you understand? We're celebrating the individual because actually it's such a big feat for us to do that. But again, we're going to change that. We're going to have to change that.
Yeah.
And you know, we've got young people that are so much talking about investments. I know crypto, Bitcoin, all of this, they're into it already. They understand the importance of investing and want to make money. And so I'm very hopeful for the next generation coming that they'll take on and do much better than us.
It's so important for us to keep these kind of conversations going. And you know, I feel like we need to hold each other accountable.
Yes.
You know, if it's not enough to just sit down and be like, oh gosh, like, you know, they're bragging again, or he's wearing. No, have you taken the time to advise that person or to maybe steer them in the right way? Because like you said, a lot of us haven't seen wealth being managed very well.
Yeah.
So when we do come into money, we don't know how to make it work for us. So if you've seen this show, share it with that person that, you know, you think might need to have that financial literacy. Or you can just say, listen, have you thought about, you know, maybe going into property instead of, you know, these 2 Rolexes that you own? Do you know that it can do this and that? The only thing they can tell you is that you're a hater, but at least you've done your bit.
Yeah, of course.
You know, I feel like we're so religious and we're Christian, but when it comes to actually practicing it, we don't do it.
No.
We don't do it, and that's what is kind of like working against us as well. So you mentioned that, you know, the Jewish and the Asians and all of that, they buy collectively.
Yeah.
How can we buy collectively? Like what for example, like can I buy with my mum? Can I buy with my siblings? Would we all need to be on a certain income? Like, you know, how do we, for example, get on the property ladder?
It depends. So if you're looking at residential, so to buy and to live, then you know, you can buy together, and all you're trying to buy a house, especially in the southeast, is very difficult on your own. So if you can add 2 or 3, if you think about the typical salaries between 25 to 30k is what people are typically on. So that's not going to get you anything in it. So unless
how
you're
much
looking
is
to,
rent?
you know what I mean? And so again, for residential, you're looking at deposits are now back to 5%, 10%. So if you can get 10% between 3 of you, use 3 of your incomes together, now you buy the first one.
Will all our names go on the property?
Can go on the property.
Okay.
And that's if you want. And there are other ways to do it where if you want one person's name on it, and then you still save together and buy another one until everybody has one in their name.
In their name.
And so there's that option. But also now, if you don't want to buy to live, you can buy to invest. And so that's 25% deposit that you need to put down.
Okay.
But now you can create a company. And your company can go and buy a property.
Wow.
And so you're, like you said, with your siblings or your friends, you can join together, create a company, and your company buys the property.
What are the benefits of that?
So now, because the 2 main benefits is, number one is that you're all shareholders, so you can equally share. And obviously, if one person puts more money than the other, you can say that person can get a bigger share, and it's all legal. It's all rather than just man no man and talking, and you know what I mean. You know that it's a legal company. You know how much ownership each person has and where it goes. Number one. Number two, if you buy a property through a company, you can claim the mortgage interest.
Okay.
So that mortgage interest, you can claim it as an expense.
Okay.
If you buy a property as an individual, you can't claim the mortgage interest.
Okay.
So again, that's a big expense so that you can claim it to save you money. So these are the reasons that people pay me the big bucks to sit down and, you know, make them money.
It's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it. Please be paying your 10%. You know, I think, wow, I that's definitely a way for, you know, for us to think about it. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And then also, like, what's it called? Like, in terms of, I guess, opening a company.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people are scared because, you know, tax returns, and they will stop my benefits, and they will stop this. But you mentioned that business is also another way to make and add value, and, you know, for it to contribute to generational wealth. How do we get over that whole, you know, all these myths, or are they myths?
I think the biggest thing is that if you got a mindset of you don't want to do something because you're going to pay tax, it's such a backward mentality. Because remember, you only pay tax on a portion. So if you're paying, let's say you're paying the higher rate tax, so you're paying 40% tax or 45% tax, you're still getting 55% more than you would have if you didn't do something at all. Okay. So number one, but also it's about making it work. So again, you don't have to necessarily take it all as income. You can there are things that you can do in regards to expenses. There are things you can take money out as dividends. You can also add family members as your company and take it out in different ways. There is many different, if you speak to a good accountant, you got a good financial advisor, nothing should ever stop you from wanting to go ahead. I think for a lot of us, I myself, we grew up in a scarcity mindset. Yes. What that means is that you hear stuff like money doesn't grow on trees. Oh, you think I've got money? And so because of that, we limit. We think, I don't have, so the little I have to hide away. In reality, and this is what I'm trying to teach my children, is abundance. I need you to know that there is money. Every day somebody's making money. Today somebody made 10K. Today somebody made 1 million. Today somebody made 100K.
Whilst they're sleeping.
And so it's out there. You just have to find your way to tap into the abundance that is available. It's available to you. There is money to be made. You just have to find your way of making it. Wow.
There is money to be made. You just have to find your way of making it. Wow. Like, it's just overwhelming how much we think we know, but we don't know. You know, so I will beseech each and every one of you, please share this video with your friend, and, you know, with their friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, because I feel like we've discussed quite a lot, and Emmanuel has given us certain pointers and advices that, you know, we're not privy to, and I feel like that will be a great starting point for us to, you know, think about and perhaps take action on. You know, it's been wonderful talking to you, and I know we can talk forever and ever and ever. Just before, you know, we round up the show, what advice will you give to anybody out there that, you know, is thinking about generational wealth? What can I leave my children? You know, you know, what can I do to jump on this success train and all of that? What can you tell us?
I think the biggest thing I would tell people, number one, is to know your why. And to know why you're doing what you're doing. For a lot of us, we are just in a system. So the system tells us, wake up, go to school, finish school, go to college or university, or get an apprenticeship, get a job. We don't know why. We're just following what others have done. And the biggest thing that you have to know your why. What is going to make you get up every morning and go and get it done? And what's going to make you do it when things are hard? I always tell people, you can't always be motivated, so you have to be disciplined. Yes. But do you know, even when you see children, when it comes to playing sports, something that they like, they'll wake up early. They'll make sure that they pack their bag. They won't forget their boots. They make sure that they're at training on time, because they believe in what they're gonna do. That they're gonna see the benefits. But a lot of the time they don't have that same discipline towards education, because they haven't understood the why or the importance of education as much as sport. And it comes to the same thing in life. For a lot of us, we are doing jobs, and maybe you're earning a good amount of money, but you're not fulfilled. You don't actually enjoy what you do every day. Maybe you have to compromise. Maybe your boss talks to you in a way that you don't like, but you feel, I can't get another job. Understand your why and believe in yourself. Then secondly, it's about having a plan.
Okay.
For a lot of us who don't have a plan. And that plan, I want us to dream big. Don't dream small. Dream big. Think about the wildest thing that the most biggest thing that you think you would want to achieve, and create a plan to achieve it. I always tell people, when you think big, it looks impossible. When you then break it down on a day-to-day basis, and you know that if I do this one thing each day, all of a sudden in 2 years or 3 years, you're there.
Halfway there,
You're there.
Yeah.
And so break it down. A lot of us don't have a plan. And they say if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And for a lot of us, we're planning to fail because we have no plan. We don't know where we're going. It's like we've got an address, but no sat nav, no map. So we're just hoping that we're gonna stumble across it. If I walk in this direction, one day I'll get there. It doesn't work like that. We need a plan, and plans change. So you may have one plan, but something happens, life happens, and so you have to be able to maneuver and make changes to your plan.
Of course.
But if you don't know where you're going, how can you make changes to your plan? And then it's about really having that accountability. Find somebody you can be accountable to, and really share with them your why, share with them your plan, share with them your dreams, your goals, and ask them to be accountable to you to be accountable to them. And so for a lot of us, we're not humble enough to want to be accountable to someone. Someone to tell us, oh, but you said. We don't want anyone to pick at us. But actually, if you look at the people that are most successful in the world, they always had someone that they could be accountable to. They always had someone that could pull them up, that could say, actually, you know what, maybe that's not the best idea. Maybe you shouldn't do this. Oh, have you heard about this? And so it's really important that if you really want to get to where you're going, know your why, have a plan, and be accountable to someone.
Wow. Have a plan, know your why, and be accountable. Listen, it has been great talking to you. I cannot stress on it anymore. Just before I round up, very, very quick, please give a shout out to your team. I'm giving a shout out to his team, Mariam. That's the lady that, I've been liaising with to get him here, responsible, for getting him here. Thank you so much, Mariam, for making this possible. Please.
Yeah, big up Mariam, that's my wife.
Okay.
Yeah, she's my manager. So again, if I was going to get anyone if I have to pay someone, I might as well pay my wife.
Pay your wife, let's
else.
Keep it in the family.
So you keep the money in the house, do you know what I mean? So she's my wife, and she's a big supporter. Like I said, I share all my dreams, my goals. She shares the same, and we push each other to achieve what we want to achieve in life. But also I've got other members of the team that are there, that are supporting, that help, that see what we're trying to do and support it. But online, I've got a platform, the E-Man Effect on Instagram, and my followers, people that follow me, they engage, they tell me about how their life changes, and it just keeps me going. Every day I get messages from people from all across the country, all across the world that message me and say, that video or that message was for me, and it helped me to do this or to do that. And so for me, I tell people I don't really feel like I've got a job. I do what I love and I get paid for it. And that's a position that we could all be in. You can find what you love, and if you can add value to people, you can do what you love and get paid of it. People that man, you always talk with so much passion, but this is what I believe in. This is what I love to do, and I hope that you've heard something and you just build on that and take it. Don't ever limit yourself. Like I said in the beginning, the biggest limitation is the limitation you put on yourself.
Wow. Guys, I don't think there's any more I can add to all this wisdom. The video is going to be, available online. If you need to go back, watch, take notes, refer to something, please do it, because I pray that, today will be the start of something. I pray that we have touched the life of somebody that's going to build that generational wealth for their family. I certainly am. I don't know about you. But, know your why, have a plan, and be accountable. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been wonderful having you on the show. I don't have any more to say. Good night and God bless. I'll see you same time, same place next week.